Ever had a really specific sound in mind but no idea how to find it? Now you can literally type out exactly what you're thinking, and this AI tool will generate loops, one-shots, or effects based on your prompt. In this video, I'll show you how far you can push it, why I think it could help producers make more unique music, and how you'd use it during an actual cook-up session. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so I've just pulled up Illugen, which is a text-to-sound generator by Waves. This lets you describe a scene, a mood, an emotion, or just any sonic idea, and it'll bring it to life. It's an AI tool, but it's ethically trained, which means that the creators who made the sounds in the first place to actually train Illugen gave them the permission to do it, which is really important these days. And people always ask me what my stance on AI is, and my mindset's always been to embrace tools like this, as long as it's there to help you and work alongside you instead of just doing all the work for you. I feel like throughout history, people that have just refused to accept new technology are the people that have been left behind. So AI is here, it's not going anywhere. We might as well embrace it and see how it can help our creative process. And full disclosure, Waves have actually sponsored this video, so huge shout out to Waves. I'm a big fan of the products, but they don't sponsor me to say anything in particular. I always need to test products first, and if I feel like you guys will benefit from it, or if it's something I'd use myself, then I'll happily endorse it. But let me show you how crazy it is. So today, I feel like making a boom bap beat. And when I'm making boom bap beats, a huge part of it is creating texture. So for example, if I want to start with a piano, most of the time it's not just a standard grand piano. Boom bap was built off sampling, so I want it to sound like it's sampled, like maybe taken from a vinyl record or quite a broken piano. So I'm going to think of a creative prompt. This is just to get some ideas down. We'll type in an old tense piano played in a haunted mansion. So maybe not that one. Kind of like that. I think it sounds a bit too far away though. What about a dusty, slightly detuned piano? Keeps me on the edge of my seat. I'm trying to go for that tense vibe. This one's kind of hard, actually. This one could work. So I had to generate more a few times just to get something that I wanted to use. But this one's definitely inspired me enough to get going. Before I do anything, I want to see what that sounds like stretched. Just to be a bit slower. This sounds kind of hard. Sounds kind of aged and warped. What I was looking for. I'm going to take out a lot of that low end. Let's keep it around there. So that's just going to be the foundation, but I want to build on this. So I'm going to pull up some more keys. So I think we're working around G. Now to get more of a tense vibe, we're going to add these semitones or half steps. Let's bring this down an octave too. So for boom bap, this chord is just amazing. You start with a root note and then just add any two notes that are right next to each other that are within the same scale as well. Just gives you that really dark and tense vibe. Let's cut this. Let's copy this over. Yeah, let's keep the same bass note. Let's randomize the velocity a bit, and then we'll also just bring some notes out so they're not all played at the same time. Right, we'll get a little top line as well. We could use these notes as well. Yeah, maybe that. Alright, but these keys are sounding a bit too different, so I just want to process these a bit to get them a little bit closer to the one we made with Illugen. Pull up some vinyl, just bring this down, and yeah, maybe 60s would work. Get some reverb on there. Already it sounded kind of hard. Just gonna change that melody a bit. Okay, the piano sound is sick. I want to find some organ to layer it with. Let's go to Analog Lab. And we'll pull up my Alchemy bank. Let's just take the MIDI and copy it in. Yeah, this is going to work. Let's take out the low end. Just going to give it that tense high end. You know what might be perfect for this is just a one-shot Glock. I hear them all the time in Griselda-style beats. So let's see if we can make one. Type in the detuned Glockenspiel or detuned vintage Glockenspiel, recorded by tape. That was kind of cool. It's got a bit of texture to it. Ooh, this one. So that's just a nice textured Glock. And now we can change this. Throw on some harmonizer. Well, we'll turn the mix down. And then I think some reverb as well. Yeah, this is gonna sound crazy. Throw some halftime on too, though. I think that blends in a bit more. Let's grab a quick guitar. Just want to add a couple notes like this. Just had a bit of delay to that. I just want to keep building on this to create some weird sounds, but I'm doing it with the intention to flip it soon, so I'm definitely going to resample it. I think I'm getting bored of this key though. Let's pitch everything up too. Here we go. So even just like weird sounds like this. I think we could get another one too. We're almost there. Yeah, just right at the end there. Okay, so that might be enough sounds, but what I want to do now is add some texture just to kind of tie everything together. So let's go to sound effects. And again, we can get creative with this one. We'll say a neglected vinyl player crackling by an old log fire. So yeah, you might be thinking you could easily find some vinyl texture somewhere, but when would you ever get an opportunity to type something as descriptive as this? Like, that's kind of crazy. This one. See, this one's just pretty unique. Even that one, man. But this one's got a nice blend of vinyl player and the fire. So let's just drag that straight in. We'll just make a cut here. We'll take some low end out of it too. Now we've got that vibe. That's crazy. That sounds mad. I feel like the possibilities with Illugen are endless, man. So if you want to experiment with it yourself, just make sure you click the link in the description. And I just want a few parts. So we'll have one with everything, one without the guitar, one with just the piano, and then maybe one with the piano and the Glock. And now if we send everything to a bus, I'm just going to add a compressor to glue everything together. Just want a few dB reduction. So about that is perfect. So let's go to the master. We'll render this. All right, so let's chop this. Let's set the slicer. And maybe we could halftime this. Pitch it up a couple. Ooh, this is going to sound cold, you know. Let's just switch the second half up. Now this is just asking for a drum break. And with boom bap beats like this, sometimes it's good to have a drum break but layered with some other drums. Like that one. This one as well. Let's pitch that down a bit. So that's a good start. I think I just want to make a couple cuts. Maybe just that one. And then I'm going to take that open hat and then just layer it with some of these kicks. Same with that kick. With boom bap, you don't have to make all the drums yourself, man. A lot of the groove does come from a drum break. Let's take my goat kick. And I always like to do my drums in the channel right, but since we're trying to layer it with this break, it's a bit easier to do this way because not every kick's going to be perfectly on grid. Also, when you're layering kicks, always check the phase or the polarity. So if I open this new kick, we could just click reverse polarity and see if it sounds any better. Alright, let's copy this. I think that snare needs to be beefed up too, so I'm going to see if Illugen can make us something. A gritty boom bap snare being hit with a baseball bat. I'm just trying to find some unique texture to a sound. I'm not using this to replace my existing one-shots. I just want to use this to come up with something unique so I can use my go-tos but then layer it with this. And that way I feel like you can just make way more interesting sounds. So that texture is kind of interesting, but I'm going to change this. Let's go distorted live snare. Hit with maximum force. Alright, let's try these. Alright, so it's doing the job, but that might be a bit too much. Let's try a high force. Let's go crunchy live snare. So the texture is quite unique, but to me, this doesn't have the weight for what I'm looking for right now. So that's why I like to use this in addition to my one-shots. For example, let's take that, and then I think we could layer it with another one. Let's do this one. There we go. Alright, now this break's sounding hard. Okay, before we add anything else, this is missing some bass, so I think I just want a one-shot for this. Just some upright bass. Here we go. Maybe just this one note underneath. Just that one sounds cool. That might be it for the bass. Sometimes if I want to tie everything together, I'll send all of the drums that's set for the kick to a bus, but then I might just add some plate reverb. Just keep it really low though. You know what might sound sick for this type of beat is a siren. Let's go to effects. Let's type in a siren echoes through a New York tunnel. This one's kind of hard, you know. It's more of a police siren. I want more of that hip hop siren though. Let's go a horn siren. That was kind of hard. This one could work. I like the start of this, so I'm thinking we could cut it like that, and then we'll just add some delay to it. Get some reverb on too. Just a cool effect to go with it. See, that's got a horn and a siren. I want to try one more thing as the icing on the cake. Live drum fill taken from a vintage vinyl record. Let's see what this sounds like. So that one could work. It's almost the same BPM as well. That's pretty much lined up as well. Maybe we could just take the end part and then have it like this. Alright, final thing I'm going to do is just a part for the verse. I'm just going to stretch it out like this. As you probably saw, Illugen is a credit-based system. It costs 2 credits for every loop, 2 credits for every effect, and then 1 credit for every one-shot. The plans start at $7.99 a month and you get 150 credits, so it's more than enough to play around with. And like I said, you don't have to think of this as replacing your samples. We've all got our go-to sounds that we love using for beats. This to me is more useful for coming up with creative and experimental sounds, and especially ideas that you have in your mind but you just struggle to find anywhere else. So if you want to try it for yourself, I've left a link to everything in the description. Let's have a listen from the beginning. So we just got this 4-bar intro.
Cactus.
This sounded grimy, man. I just switched up the bass a bit. consistent throughout the beat. I just took the bass out for the start of the verse.